Hey everyone, a nerd named Mark here. It's time to go over episode 2 of Kamen Rider Gotchard. Now, after my first episode review, got some comments, went on the social media, see what everyone's thinking, watched a whole bunch of other people's reviews like the Oxy 360, Zio Agito, um, uh, Christian Alsace. He did a video, great one. His videos are always very thought provoking, honestly. Like, I love those. That's like I'll watch all his videos the second they drop. I got the notifications on for sure. Now, um, it seems there's a little divide. You know, a lot of people are enjoying it, and a lot of people are loving it, and then there's a lot of people who just hate it already. You know, think it's the worst of Reiwa. And then there's some people who are just unsure, testing it out, giving it some time to breathe. Me, I'm enjoying it for what it is. Um, One of the things about this episode, I do like that this picks up, boom, right where the other episode left off. Obviously, we're still in the pseudo introductory stages of the show, so it makes sense that there's not going to be some skipping around, you know? Um, but one of the cool things is basically Ichinose, because he has the driver now and everything else, he's going to become an alchemist. And before I get into the episode stuff, we got the OP in the episode. Like, the OP is so freaking anime. It is 100%. I'm here for it. Although, like, I saw someone on X or Twitter or whatever took the OP video and put the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX theme over it, and it fit damn near perfectly. And I was like, that's the vibe right there. Okay, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. And so what is I think the song's called Kemi Cross Story or Kemi X Story. Honestly, as of right now, it's one of my favorite OPs of Reiwa. Not gonna lie to you, I really enjoy it. It's good, very good. But that was a sidebar. That was a sidebar. We're not gonna get too into the OP now. So we're getting brought to the Alchemy Academy, and I'm hoping we get to see more of it because like the main classroom is tiny. I was like, this is the academy. This is where the magic's happening. No pun intended. Actually, pun intended. Um, and I was kind of hoping we could get some simmering on some of the questions I had. If you go back and watch my first episode review, even though it's not that far, it was a week ago, but I had some mysteries and some questions about people, and some of it was already answered. So our mystery man who gave Ichinose the guitar driver is none other than Kudo's father. And she dubbed him a traitor because 10 years ago, he took 101 of the chemis and just disappeared. And so I mentioned how I like foreshadowing of things, but I don't like the answers the next episode, obviously. But in the last episode, Mr. Minato at the end talked about how it's been 120 years since someone had combined with, two chemis. And with a flashback after Kudo mentions, her father and everything else, which she mentions to herself. She doesn't mention it to Ichinose. But we get some flashbacks to little young child Kudo being read a story from her father, and he's telling the story about this hero from 100 years ago who defeated the demons. It was called the Alchemist of Dawn. And I'm like, so 120 years ago, it's been since a human merged with chemis. There's this Alchemist of Dawn from 100 years ago in the fairy tale, and I'm like, this will most likely be brought up again at some point. And I was like, you know what? That's cool. I like some foreshadowing. And just like let's keep it on that trend. Let's go over some more foreshadowing stuff that we got answers to. Ichinose's father. Obviously, we're like, oh, daddy issues. Father's face is, conveniently blocked out in the photo. We find out that basically he's traveling the world chasing his dream and just left one day. Just decided to leave, left the restaurant to his mom. And it's one of the things where the mother is so overly positive and upbeat. And I'm just like, okay, if she keeps this trend of being that, positive force in each and his life, there's going to be that moment where maybe something's going to happen. Maybe. I'm not saying death. I'm not saying anything super bad, but maybe there might be a personality shift. Maybe because we find out about the chemis and they're drawn to malice and they can fuse with humans, which I'll get into. So maybe there's some deep-seated repressed malice in there, so to speak. And and you could be like, oh man, they would never fuse a chemi with the mother and make her a villain. It's like, well, remember the Megids and Saber? They fused with some people, and there's some serious implications. So I'm just saying it could happen. Mind you, the our chemi of the week is Skibbo, the skateboard. And so our little Skibbo skateboard is the chemi of the week, and it's entertaining. I always forget his name already. Ichinose's friend is, he's wrapping his brain around. He's like, no, I've seen these monsters. I like his character. I like how he's probably going to be the one that's like constantly like, hey, I saw a monster. He's kind of the cryptid obsessed friend. That's me. That's me in the friend group. I love cryptids. Um, and dude, chemis are 100% Pokemon. Can we be real here? Could we just like call a spade a spade? They just say their name in different tones and inflections in their voices. So chemis are Pokemon. They're Chemimon, technically. Um, so I don't. One of the issues I have in the show right now, anyways, we're 2 episodes in, is their explanation of alchemy, because their definition and how it works, like their explanation, doesn't really match like the definition of alchemy and how they explain it. Because honestly, it's more magic and levitation than it is actually like creating something from other materials. In the sense they're not creating anything; they're moving stuff around. Technically, just saying. And yeah, and basically, mass exchange is like the basis of alchemy. And one of the tests Ichinose has to do is he has to balance 2 cards to have even weight, which is Camantis and Odoripa. So, even though it wasn't a villain or a chemi that he could capture, Odoripa is in his repertoire now, along with Camantis, who he got last week. So, the malice thing I brought up. So, basically, Skibbo was able to fuse with a criminal that apparently had just robbed some sort of business, maybe a person. So I was like, because I thought maybe these girls, the villains, which they explained their names, I already forgot. I didn't take good notes, honestly, because I'm not trying to do like a detailed like breakdown in, you know, chronological. I want to just discuss the episodes. I don't want to do a play by play. I'll do it for the first episode. I'll do it for the final episode. That's it. Um. So because of this malice that humans have, that's why the Chemi was able to fuse with him. And I do like, as I talked about, and after the first episode, I feel like Kudo was going to be this navigator of explaining the lore in this world and everything going on to us by proxy of explaining it to Ichinose, which is the case. And I'm okay with that because now we're going to grow and learn more about this stuff alongside Ichinose throughout the show. So that's fine with me. That doesn't bother me at all. I was curious how we were going to deal with the henshin sequences because it is very green screen, very CG like Saber was. We got a shorter version of it. I feel like it was shorter just because he didn't turn into the CG grasshopper, which showed up later on. I'm not going to talk about it. And man, the suit still, I like that suit so much. I really do. And because we got a new attack, because he used Odoripa and Camantis, because he already had the Chemi wrist holder, which I have on my desk, but I hate wearing it because it's weird. Um, and I was like, well, he has these 2 cards. I assumed we were going to get a form change, but we didn't. So instead, we got a cool little attack with a tornado. And our Skibbo Chemi fusion monster looked cool. Riding a skateboard, had like skateboards on the arm. It was, and looked like there was money and stuff. It was pretty cool, but we got our motorcycle. Yeah, Mr. Minato showed up and gave Ichinose Gold Dash, which is a Chemi, and I'm just like instantly like, oh, we got our motorcycle in episode 2. I wonder how long before we see it again, because Kamen Rider without the rider part, type of deal. But um, action wasn't too overly heavy in this one. A lot of CG because there was most of it was like motorcycle skateboard chasing. I was really hoping because Gotchard used the Buster again with Camantis this time, which kind of basically did Razor Leaf Pokemon attack out of the gun. I was hoping because when he pulled that out, the Buster out, I was like, are we going to get the smoke pocket dimension again? Sadly, no smoke pocket dimension. And I was like, damn. I was really hoping for it, honestly. Um, but at the end of at the end of the day, he wins with a rider kick. The rider kick looked good. It was a short form version, obviously, compared to what we got in the first episode. Still looked really good. I'm a sucker for a good rider kick. And he has captured, technically, okay, do we count? We don't count capturing, Hopper 1 and Steamliner. Camantis, he did capture. Odoripper was given to him. I assume he has Gold Dash now, was given to him as well. So, from an overall standpoint, technically, Skibbo that he just captured, boom, is going to be his sixth Chemi in his repertoire. So he is doing pretty good. 6 out of 101. So I got 95 more to go. But honestly, and after all this, he passed his alchemy test through nefarious ways. He begged the chemis to balance themselves out. I think he asked Camantis to gain weight and Odorippa to go on a diet so they would balance their weights, which technically was against the rules, but there were no rules, so he still passed. It just wasn't the proper way to do it. So he got his cool shiny blue alchemist ring. And we also see 2 other students who don't get an introduction because this is the end of the episode. So I'm like, okay, there are more alchemists. We've seen the OP. We see there's more alchemists. And then also we see our dude with the wrench thing. I called him Valvoline the other day because I don't remember his name. I think it's Valverado, Valverade, Velveteen, Vaseline, something. It's Valverado or something. I don't know. But we saw him with his wrench already. So I'm like, oh, well, I know who that is because I've already seen the merch for the pre-order. So I'm curious to see what his deal is going to be. After 2 episodes in, I feel like we're getting some good world building. Acting is a little stiff with Ichinose and Kudo, but, they're young. It's probably their first time acting. They are playing students. I think as we're warming up to the characters and their dynamic changes, I do like the interactions with Ichinose and his mom. That's when it feels really free-flowing between the two. They have really good chemistry, no pun intended. So I'm really looking forward to more of this show, more deep diving into the alchemy side of things with the Alchemy Academy, and more of the chemis now that I already opened 2 full booster boxes of Phase 01, so I've seen most of the chemi cards now. I'm curious to see them all now in the show. But I'm warming up to the show. I'm still enjoying it. I'm being positive about it. I could, nitpick, but at the end of the day, this is entertainment. It's fiction. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be entertainment, and I'm entertained. So I'm enjoying it. But after 2 episodes in, have your feelings changed on it? Let me know in the comments below, or as a few people I've seen tweet about, they've already given up on it. So let me know in the comments below. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.